Hey guys, it's Stacy and welcome to my channel, Stace Reads a Bit. As you can see, I am back outside at the local park. This is I finally figured I had my lighting issues figured out at home to where you guys could see me. But then I realized that I live on a really busy road, and if you watch my last video that I actually did at home, you can hear the traffic going by, and it was loud enough to distract me, so I figure how much worse does it have to be for anybody who actually manages to watch my videos. So unless I'm going to film at like 3 in the morning when nobody's going by my house, that's not going to work, and I feel like the lighting situation is going to be even worse at that time. So I'm going to have to definitely troubleshoot some things because I do live in Michigan, and probably in 2 months there will be snow and it'll be 20 degrees, and I'm not bringing myself out here for that. Also, there's a building behind me, and this is like the pool house. There's a pool, an in-ground pool back there, and I keep hearing like this scratching noise, and I think it might be a demon, but there are like a lot of walkers out here, so I figure there's like somebody fishing over there, so I figure if I get dragged off, somebody's going to notice that my car's still here, hopefully. I don't know. Who knows? We'll hope for the best. So without further ado, let's get into my August wrap up. So August was not a super productive month for me, and I kind of hate myself for that. August was my last month of summer vacation before I went back to school. If you guys don't know, I don't think I've ever mentioned this, I am in nursing school, and it's pretty intense. So I am in classroom time, like about 22 hours a week. Plus I have like a 40-minute commute one way. And then I work like 20 hours a week. So we're talking like over 60 hours of my week is spoken for, so to speak. So during the school year I really struggle to read, just to find the time when I'm not exhausted or doing homework. So I really try to utilize audiobooks. So you're probably going to hear more about me listening to audiobooks, just because that's one of the ways I can fit reading time in. So now I will officially start my August wrap up. So this book, I actually did an entire video about this book, and I think it was my last video, and I'll link it down below in case you actually want to hear in length what I thought about this. And that was Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. Loved this book. I read this book because Peter from Peter Likes Books recommended it. He said he read it on vacation and loved it, and I thought, that sounds like a little bit lighter read that I just kind of need right now. I ripped through this. I could not read it fast enough. Like, I had to know what happened. I fell in love with some of the characters. I hated some of the characters. There's one character in the book, basically the main character, and it's Madeline. And she's such a bitch, but a likable one. And at one point I told one of my friends, I said, I think she's my spirit animal. Just she likes to kind of stir the pot and talk shit about other people. This booktube channel is for adults, we can say that. And just even how she talks about how she holds grudges and how she loves to hold her grudges. And this was turned into a series for HBO, which I just started watching. And there are a few differences, specifically in the location. Like, this is located in Australia, whereas the TV show's located in California, of course. It's a little bug. But I'm enjoying that. I loved the book, so definitely check this out. I think I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, but now that I'm like a couple weeks out from reading it, I'm thinking it's a 5-star, just because of how much, even a couple weeks later, that cynicism hasn't snuck into where I'm like, what was it? Did you like it that much? No, I really did. I really, really, really liked this. So definitely going to check out some of her other books, because she just wowed me. So I'm definitely gonna be reading more of her. Next book I finished was Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. This was super hyped on BookTube, and I've been hearing about it for months, because even before I started making my own videos, I was a lurker on BookTube and just started leaving comments and interacting a little more a few months ago. But I'd been hearing about this probably since January at least. Everybody and their brother has read this book. So I picked it up, and I had high expectations from what everybody had said, and it reached all of them. Loved it. I loved the relationship between Ari and Dante. I loved the relationship that both the boys had with their families, how even though they were different and unique, there was so much love, even if they couldn't always show it or talk about it. Absolutely loved this. Definitely would recommend this to anyone. And if you're an audiobook listener, the audiobook is actually read by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So if you're interested in that, I mean, why not have some candy for your ears? So definitely check this out. The third book I finished, and I only finished 3 books in August. I don't have with me because it was due back at the library and I had to return it before I made this video. But I read Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. I will never be able to remember his name ever. I read that right after it had been announced that it was longlisted for the Man Booker Prize. And obviously it's been talked about everywhere on YouTube and BookTube, everywhere. And it's got a really bright cover, so who would pass it up? But it was marketed as a love story, and I think it was Ariel Bassett who touched on this, who said that was completely wrong. I get that they have their marketing strategies so that they can sell books, because they have to sell books in order to make books. But it was marketed as a love story, and I felt like that was so not central to the plot. I felt like it was completely a refugee story with the subplot of that budding romance. And I don't want to give anything away, but I loved it. I loved the idea that there were these magical doors that would take you somewhere, but you didn't know where you were going to go or if it would be better or worse. And just the idea of being in the frame of mind of it being so terrible where you live that you will just go into a door not knowing where you're going to go. And granted, I struggle with like the Michigan winters, and if in the middle of a snowstorm you gave me a door and said, you can get in this door and it's going to take you somewhere warm, we don't know what else it's going to be like, I'd be like, no, it's okay, I'll just freeze, it's fine. And I loved it, and I expected a little bit of pretension with it, and I didn't get that at all. I just fell in love with Said and Nadia and their journey, and Said's father, and so I would definitely recommend that. I would not be surprised if it's shortlisted, just because it was that good. And it's a short book, so it was a pretty quick read for me, which makes me even more ashamed that I only finished 3 books, but I did binge like an entire season of Modern Family, so that's what I use my time for. Now, I didn't finish this book, but I wanted to include it because I said I was going to finish it in my August TBR, and that was The Zookeeper's Wife by Diane Ackerman. So, this was for my Facebook book club, because I run a book club on Facebook with just some of my close friends, just so we can kind of read, and no one finished this book. Like, no one. Not a single one. There was one woman in July. We started the book July 1st, and July 5th, she, posted on the Facebook page, oh, I finished it! Already done. She was like, I got 2 chapters in and gave up. I tried. Look at all these Post-it notes. I tried. This was the most depressing book, and I don't know if it's just me, and I know the Holocaust is depressing, don't get me wrong, horrible, horrible atrocities happened, but it alternated sorrow with boredom towards the point that I got in. There's 2 pages where she talks about this entomologist and how he collected all these bug samples, but not just how he collected them, but how they were arranged. The beetles were next to the moths, and the moths were next to... No, I don't need to know how they were arranged. Just tell me how many samples he had. Tell me how much they were worth. Tell me how long it took him to collect them, and keep it moving. I can't differentiate 8 different types of beetles from each other. I don't do that, so it doesn't matter. It's not like I'm picturing these bugs in my mind. I've never seen them before, and I'm not going to stop every 3 words to Google it. That was my rant. And I'm sorry if you loved this book, although I haven't even heard of anybody else who's read it, so I highly doubt it. This will probably be, I don't know, this might be my only angry rant for the year, but This was a DNF, and I felt bad because I run the book club and I picked the book, but it just didn't work. So there was the 4th, but I just couldn't power through it, and I think I went and watched a bunch of Rick and Morty instead. So that was my August wrap-up. I'm hoping that I will have done a little bit better in September when I come to you with my September wrap-up, but who knows? We'll see. Life happens, and hey, I read 3 books this month. It's not that bad. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment. What'd you read in August? Have you read any of these books? What'd you think? And I will see you again later. Bye.